Did you know that traumatic injuries are the leading cause of death for people under age 40? And that some of these deaths are preventable? Blood loss is responsible for 35% of pre-hospital deaths. And during mass casualty events such as shootings, 80% of victims are delivered to hospitals by someone other than a trained ambulance crew. Severe bleeding can lead to death in 5 minutes or less. Many people perish before an ambulance can arrive. But it doesn't have to be this way. It's time to stop the bleed. And you can be part of it. Stop the Bleed is a White House initiative that provides people like you with tools they need to take action against life-threatening wounds. In this brief video, we'll show you how to get involved.
Everything was so normal. We were just going about our day, minding our business. But then there was this noise, like a loud pop. People were running and screaming, and then I saw people just lying on the ground, bleeding.
What if this happened to you? Would you know what to do? Here are some initial pointers. Act quickly. What you do in the first few minutes is critical. Evaluate your safety. Is it safe for you to remain where you are? If not, evacuate the area. Tell someone to call 911. Apply pressure. Pressure is what stops bleeding. Let's explore the concept of pressure more. There are two basic kinds of pressure: direct pressure and pressure applied via a tourniquet. There are two main ways to tell whether bleeding is serious enough to require a tourniquet: the volume of blood and the flow. Volume refers to the amount of blood present. Think about a soda can. Cut that amount in half. If that amount of blood is present, then it's serious life-threatening bleeding. Another warning sign is flow. If the blood is squirting, pooling on the surface, or if it's flowing continuously, then it's serious life-threatening bleeding. In a real-life scenario, you'd evaluate the volume and flow of blood to help you make decisions.
This person's arm is injured, but it looks like neither the volume nor the flow of blood indicates we need a tourniquet. We need direct pressure instead. You, call 911. This person's injuries are more severe. There's more blood than half a soda can, and it's flowing really fast. That means I need to use a tourniquet to apply pressure.
So you've decided you need a tourniquet. What next? You need to find or make one. Two basic types of tourniquets are out there: commercial and makeshift. Commercial tourniquets are the most effective. If you're in a public facility, you may be able to find one in a bleeding control kit, often found near an AED display. If that's not an option, apply strong pressure with your hands, or use available materials like a t-shirt or towel. Tourniquets are used for severe bleeding on arms and legs, not other parts of the body. The key idea is only the limbs. Apply direct pressure to stop bleeding on other parts of the body. In this video, we'll focus on pressure applied via a commercial tourniquet. Place the tourniquet 2 to 3 inches above the wound. Be careful to place it above the injury, not directly on top of it. Then, simply pull, twist, and clip. Pull the free end of the Velcro strap, thread it through the buckle, and securely fasten it back onto itself. Twist the rod until the bleeding stops, or until you can't twist anymore. Note that this step will be painful for the injured person. Be persistent. Be sure that the bleeding stops. Clip the rod with the small Velcro strap, securing it so that it doesn't untwist. If bleeding continues and you've tightened the tourniquet as much as you can apply a second tourniquet above the first, closer to the torso. Although applying the tourniquet is simple, watch out for these common mistakes. Mistake number 1, not knowing when to apply a tourniquet. Tourniquets aren't appropriate for all injuries. Don't use it for a minor injury or on the trunk of the body. But for life-threatening bleeding on the arms and legs, don't be afraid to use a tourniquet. Mistake number 2, not tightening the tourniquet enough to stop bleeding. Also, remember to keep twisting until bleeding stops. If it doesn't stop, add a second tourniquet closer to the torso, above the first tourniquet. Mistake number 3. Placing the tourniquet directly on top of the wound. The tourniquet should go just above the wound, on the side closest to the torso. Mistake number 4. Loosening the tourniquet. Leave the tourniquet on until medical professionals arrive, even if the victim complains of pain. The victim could bleed to death quickly if the tourniquet is removed. Hopefully, you'll never have to apply a tourniquet, but knowing how can save a life. Thanks for helping stop the bleed. This message was brought to you by the National Center for Disaster Medicine and Public Health at the Uniformed Services University of the Health Sciences.